you, everybody, for joining us to this Learn End of Life Educational Channel series. We are here with Jeremy Dowland. He is a pre planning specialist with All Sip and Persons Funeral Chapel, and we are so grateful for our sponsors All Sip and Persons Funeral Chapel, Hillcrest Memorial Gardens, and Ancora Health Services. Jeremy, we're so glad that you are here with us today. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Well, Jeremy, we're continuing the conversation about the work that you do as a pre planning specialist. And I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about how a person can personalize their pre planning arrangements when they do pass away. And I was wondering if you can share how someone can ensure that their service reflects their own personality and values.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. When we sit down and I visit with people, we have a booklet that we give them that they can take home and basically fill out for themselves so they can give to their loved ones. We call it our Caring Decisions Guides. And in there, there's a lot of vital statistics that the funeral home will then use also as well later on, as far as like death, or I'm sorry, birthdays, social security numbers, and things of that nature, and where they were born, a little bit of history for the death certificate. But in that guide as well, it allows them to, they can write out their own obituary, they could plan the services, they could decide what songs they want played, if there's certain hymns they want sung by people, if they're of different faiths, each faith has a different hymns that they like to sing, if there's certain scriptures or passages that they want read, if they have favorite poems or any of those things. So they can one person could quite literally plan out exactly everything that they wanted to have done for for their services. And when with having that, which is really nice, is because we're able to follow that and just honor those and just say, nope, this is what they wanted to have done, and this is what we're going to do for them. And so that way their wants and wishes were kept.
I love that so much. What are some meaningful or unique ways that you've seen people personalize their plans?
One that was kind of fun to do, um, they this couple, they were like, you know what, we think we'll probably have, they had a large family. And they're like, we'll probably have about 200 people that we think would probably show up to our one of our services. And I'm like, that's a big service. But they're like, we also wanted to make sure that it was enjoyable for everybody. And so what they wanted to do is they wanted to have a great big ice cream social afterwards. And so we put into this plan and this policy that we designed for them, and we budgeted and we said this much money for this many people, and we designed to go for catering for an ice cream bar so that when people come in, because that's what they love to do, they love to gather around and be with family over desserts. And so they wanted to have another moment to have everybody gathered and remember mom or dad and grandma and grandpa's favorite ice cream social. And so that way they don't have to worry about paying for anything. It's already in the plan, it's designed, paid for, taken care of. And so when they do all of those things, they show up, it's like we have this huge elaborate ice cream spread, and they can just continue to think about and enjoy the service. For it hasn't happened yet, but it's going to. But that's what they wanted to have done, and so it's just kind of fun to be like, okay, that's what you want. That's what you want to be remembered for. Let's do it.
Oh, that's amazing. Now that gives me an idea of what I need to add to my list. I love
Right?
ice cream.
Right?
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, no, for myself, when I pass away, it's like I want everybody to come in and get a Coca-Cola. That's my favorite drink. And so I want everyone to get a drink, and I want jokes to be said. I don't want cries or sadness or mourning. I want corny dad jokes because that's what I love to say all the time. And so that's what I want to have done.
Oh, I love that. One of my favorite celebrations of life was a woman who was very dear to me, and her children, she was an avid reader, and so at the service, her children had brought all of her books, and then each person got to pick a book, a special book from Carol, that was included in her plans. She's like, I'm not going to be able to take these books with me, and so her children just lovingly shared all of her books with all the many people that came to the service. It was really special, and I hold my book very dear. And I just
Yeah.
think that that's really meaningful.
Yeah, I mean, someone might look at that book. It's a $5 book now at a bookstore, right? Used bookstore, but there is more value in that because you got it from her services, and how she wanted to share her love of those things with everybody else. It's just something that you just one way, just one of many ways that you can personalize it.
It's beautiful. So I want to ask you a question about honoring different cultural or spiritual traditions. How when someone is working on their pre-planning arrangements, how do you honor or recognize and help support people with different cultural and spiritual traditions that you work with?
And that's the great thing about like that pamphlet that we give people, that book, so they can say, I want all of these things because Catholic services are different than Jewish services, which are going to be different than members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, their services, or people that aren't religious at all. Everyone has their different ways of doing those things. And so that's when they were able to plan it out and do all of those things within that booklet. So we honor that as in if we know that somebody's coming in and they're going to want extra services, whether it be rosaries or scripture readings, we will put that into the policy that we write for them, so that we know that this person wanted to have this certain prayer, this mass, or all of those things to be handled, and then which is it's so much fun because you get to see the different cultures and history of people, and it's just like I just get to sit back and be like, okay, I was like, I didn't know that about that. And that's just I get to learn new things too. And like, okay, yeah, that's what you want. We'll do that. Happy to. And so we're very accommodating. It's not doesn't have to be just this way or that way. I mean, there's so many options for whatever it is you want to have done.
Beautiful. I guess I'm thinking about logistics as you're talking because I think that there are so many different ways that this prearrangement can be done. And so I'm wondering, like, how often should someone revisit or update their plan, especially when I'm thinking about the young couple that did their prearrangement paperwork in their 30s. So how often do you recommend someone updating their plans?
If there's been any big major things change in your life, or you thinking that maybe you this couple, maybe they wanted to be cremated, but now they decide they want to be buried because now later on in life you have kids and grandkids, and they might need to have that time to be able to come say goodbye. So it's never a bad idea to review things, and usually, I mean, the really young couples are very rarity. Let's be honest. Most people, they're not thinking that far in advance. It's usually, grandparents that are usually the average age that we're seeing, 50s and older, 55, 60, 70 years old. So, but even so then, if every couple years, every 5 years, was there something that we might have missed?
Okay.
Um, and even, yeah, for logistics, for things, people change faiths. And so you might have said you wanted it at one church, but now you're going to a different church. And so we want to update things so we know that we take the body to the right church and to the right thing. So that way that, we still honor your wants and wishes and we're able to do things for you.
So important. What the other thought I have, I think about often, where should someone keep these important papers? Should they be easily accessible or should they be locked away? Where would these important papers, where should someone store these important papers?
I encourage people to um, keep them readily accessible, or if they are going to lock them away, if they're make sure that whoever is going to supposed to be in charge of things, that they know where they're at. If they're in a safe in the house, does that loved one know the combination or how to get in the safe? Is it at a safe deposit box at a bank or a credit union? If so, does that loved one have access to that box? So that way we can still do those things because otherwise if you're making it harder. So talk about it, and it doesn't have to be a bad conversation. It's like, guys, I love you. I've planned this out. I've taken care of this. This is what I want to have done. This is what the booklet is. It's over here in file cabinet, top drawer, halfway back or wherever it is, so that way they know what they want to have done. So it's similar to like wills or trusts, review it with your family. Hey, this is what I want to have done. You have your will, you put all this stuff together, you know, and it's like this is where the will is. So when I die, this is where my funeral plan is. So it goes here. Nothing kicks in until after this happens.
So thank you so much for joining us, Jeremy. We will see you next time at the End of Life Learn educational series. Thanks again, Jeremy.
Thank you. Have a great day.